Okay. You are live. Well, I'm supposed to start with people taking exit points or Dia de los Muertos.
All right. All right.
And then I'm supposed to do something like this. I understand because it's asking me questions. Pardon us for our brief. Where'd I put it? There we go. Cool. All right. And this is supposed to be. Oh, we're still learning. Style brand overlay. Okay. See, this is where I was talking about things are hidden from me here. So apologize for. Where are these things? Oh, here it goes. This is what I'm supposed to do now.
Welcome to a new spirit that will warm your heart. Welcome to a new spirit. Every day's a brand new start. Where encouraging words can heal your soul and dreams will be renewed. Welcome to a new spirit, a new spirit in you.
Welcome to the New Spirit Radio Show by the Society of Novus Spiritus, founded by world-renowned spiritual teacher Sylvia Brown. Today's date, oh my gosh, this looks a little better to me. It's October 27th of 2021. Coming to you live from California, both NorCal and SoCal, are your hosts, Reverend Tom Bigley and MIT Catherine Taylor, playing audio segments we call Messages from Spirit. Why? Answering the ultimate question, why are we here and what is our purpose?
These segments are recorded trance sessions from Francine, Sylvia's spirit guide. For new people, Sylvia was a full trance medium, which means Sylvia contracted to let her and Francine's essences exchange places in Sylvia's body. And we think of it as our body being similar to a car. One driver gets out and another driver gets in. This allowed Francine to share spiritual knowledge with us directly from the other side.
On occasion, another master teacher and healer, a guide named Rahim, would exchange with Sylvia and present us with spiritual information as well. Francine and Rahim shared directly from sources like the Akashic Records, Mother and Father God, our spirit guides, Christ, and many others.
And meanwhile, during trance, Sylvia would sit on a nice bench in a rose garden on the other side.
And here are our hosts, MIT Catherine Taylor and Reverend Tom Bigley.
Hey Tom, how's it going?
We are going. Can you believe this?
I know. We are working this out. This is really exciting.
Well, let's see. So I want to do a quick check-in here on where we originated from. Blog Talk Radio. We do have one caller in, so I trust they can hear us. Still logging in. Let's see. Well, I hope they can hear. Oh, I can hear, says Ronald. Great. Well, I hope. Hello from
Hi,
Ronald.
Ron.
Let's see. So I trust you can still hear us. You still look like you're logging in. Can you type us a note, if you would, in chat on Blog Talk Radio? That tells us that it's still streaming over there. I take it the listener, there's one phone call in. So we have two. Ron says, hi, guys. Cool. That's so...
Hi.
I'm wiping the sweat off the top of my head right now because I'm like...
Things are working. That one works. Check.
Yeah. Well, I hope it sounds as good or better, I trust, than what it used to on Blog Talk Radio. But so the... Oh, it is
the new phone number.
So
we need to say the new phone number.
Yeah. So whoever's on the phone call... we are going to have a new phone number in the future, which is currently active at this moment. So take a moment, write this down because I'll repeat it a couple times throughout the show. The new phone number, if you want to call in, if you can't get internet while you're driving or you're wherever you're at, then you're welcome to call in and listen to this. It's 888-534 2696.
Again, 888-534-2696.
So, well, we'll say it again a little bit later, and it's also in the description if you're whoever's watching YouTube or Facebook Live. So we're like broadcasting as we're still on. So people on Blog Talk Radio, the purpose behind this, we're still sending our signal out there is to let people know that we are moving on to YouTube and Facebook Live. So at this moment, we are on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. And that's where you'll be able to see us here in the near future.
And the phone number.
And
so 3 places. And the phone number. Yes.
And the phone number, just like we were providing on Blog Talk Radio. To call in or listen in. You can go to Facebook Live or Facebook. So you're going to go to Society of Novus Spiritus on Facebook or Society of Novus Spiritus on YouTube. You can search them both and you'll find we'd also started a Facebook page for New Spirit Radio on Facebook. That is a group, but we're live streaming on there too. So check that out. Those are the new destinations. We're going to do this for a couple more weeks on to Blog Talk Radio. So as people jump on and, not everybody comes on every week. So we'll make this known for future use that, hey, come on over to YouTube. Because you don't need a subscription on YouTube. You do on Facebook. Many people are on Facebook, and we already see chat. So let's see. Do I have to turn that on?
Oh, we are getting chat. Nice.
Can you see that?
Yes, I can. I see
Okay, cool.
messages from Gina, WW, and Susan. Hello. Nice to see you guys. It's exciting.
So let's see. We're just dumping. No, we're just jumping right in here. And so this week we're doing our best to what's it called? Do our normal scheduled activities here as best we can. So we're juggling things here. Okay, so no.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. That's coming up here, and for those of you, I haven't stopped to. I know of one other. What do you call it? Ceremony or rituals. Thank you. Dia de los Muertos. That's fun. I think too. I like the spectacle and the ceremony behind that, and I haven't been able to look up to see if there's another. Something similar in this time range other than we've got, Halloween. So
yeah, Halloween, Samhain. Francine says that it's a very because so many rituals have taken place and ceremonies have taken place throughout centuries, that this is the time of year in which to communicate with people who have passed on and spirits and ghosts, that the veil is very thin, and so it is actually much more likely than other times of the year for us to get some spirit communication and maybe see ghosts, and encourage ghosts to please ask for the light and pass over. And actually, I think you and I both have some cool stories about that to share since it is Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
I didn't get think of a ghost, but you were talking about suggested about spirits and ghosts. So I have a couple of spirit activities that are fun too. So how about we do that instead of Novus philosophy?
You got it.
All right. Okay. Who goes first? See, now we can do Rochambeau.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Except I've got my thing in front of my nose here. My script over. Anyway, that's another. All right, should we try it for fun?
Okay. Yes. Rock, paper, scissors. Here we go.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors.
Uh-oh.
Your video froze on me. What do you got?
I have rock.
You have rock? Well, rock
You have
trumps.
scissors.
Well, that means you get to choose.
Okay, I invite you to please go first. I
All
would love
right,
to
all
hear
right,
your story.
all right. Where I put it on my as a task on my calendar here, so I got to go find my not that one. What? Oh, I punched the wrong thing. Okay, so oh, so I have this one came to mind, but I've talked about it before, but this one came to mind because it kind of covers like supernatural stuff, and when I was I was somewhere around 16 years old. I was still living with my parents, and we had a two-story home, five-bedroom, two-story home, and my mom, dad, and I were sitting in our kitchen. We have this had this. Well, actually, somebody still has it. It's a huge, like 6 foot diameter round table. We were sitting around that, and
Wow.
there was nobody else in the house. And out of nowhere, all three of us heard three, and there we go, three. All three of us heard there was whistling, and my brother's voice was upstairs right above the kitchen, and partly because that's where his bedroom is, was right above the
Oh,
kitchen. And we mostly heard it wasn't, it's not like someone was loud and you hear it through the floor. We heard it echoing out the hallway and down because the doorway out the kitchen led to the stairway going up, and that's where we heard most of the noise from was echoing out there, and we're like,
wow.
okay, and and uh, that's what I do remember. Um, I can't remember if we heard steps or not upstairs, but the three of us distinctly heard his whistling and his voice upstairs. And there was no one in the house. So we're like, well, okay. It didn't scare us so
Wow.
much, but we're like, okay, that's weird. What was that all about?
Wow. That
So
is really cool.
that's usually what's referenced as a doppelganger.
Mhm.
I think that's the right word. Um,
Or
I think that's the
morphic.
right word.
Yeah, I I can look it up when we're on break. Sylvia's
And
an Om
then
book. Yes, please, please, please.
and then I wanted to reshare the unusual event that happened at my dad's memorial. So where was that? May, beginning of May, we had my dad's memorial, and just prior to that, I think he passed like the couple weeks prior to that, or a month prior to that. And we had planned on a memorial. It was in a courtyard in a church. They were very accommodating, helping us out, getting set up, and that. So trying to set up the picture here, I knew. So part of my income, I'm a realtor, real estate agent, and we subscribe to buyers, and we get phone calls when hey someone wants to talk to us, and it's on a first come first served basis. Well, in the previous 2 weeks, we had only had like two or three phone calls over the entire 2 weeks. The prior, this had slowed down quite a bit. So we're like wondering, hey, where are all the calls? But okay, well, I was gonna ignore calls during that whole day, and because I'm setting up, helping set up. I did video. We streamed the whole thing for my dad's memorial. It was a Saturday, and I thought I didn't think much of it. I had my phone on not dead silent, but vibrate. And throughout the day, sorry, I'm getting my story mixed up. It wasn't that day. It was Sunday. That's what it was. I didn't have any calls that day. It was Sunday. We went out to the beach to, hoping the EPA wouldn't follow us. We were spreading his ashes in a favorite place out on the beach. That's where it was. That Sunday, I wasn't expecting any calls. We hadn't had any for, a couple of weeks. Very low content. Well, guess what? Throughout that day, there were 9 to 11 phone calls that came in for,
Wow.
yeah, for
Wow.
real estate inquiries. And I'm like, hello, I can't do all these myself. I'm a little busy here. So that was like, okay. And what was funny was the day before, at the memorial service, I had part of my talk was to challenge everybody. I want to hear from you or tell my mom, we don't believe in coincidences. Tell my mom what um, something that you feel might be evidence that my dad, who had passed, is making his presence known to you.
That warms my heart. And he was giving you prosperity, and
Well,
that is really cool.
I don't know about giving prosperity because I couldn't answer the phone. I didn't answer any of the calls. I was hoping somebody else did, but
Sure.
I thought it like partly a little frustrating, but now it's humorous that, you know, that, and it hasn't happened since. It's not, that made it unique to me. Was that, there were like 9 or 11 phone calls throughout the day, and
Wow.
the 2 weeks prior, there was only like, 2, 3, and the, several weeks after, little or none. So, those are the kind of things that I watch for, and I encourage people to watch for, that say, hey, someone's looking out for you.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. I'm so, wow, that's really, really touching. 9, 11 phone calls. That's a lot of phone calls. You're trying to do your business.
Yeah, and I can't answer. I was hoping somebody else would answer him, but it's like, well, anyway, that was fun.
Sure. All right, so I thought I've got 2 anecdotes. I will try to keep it on the short side because I want to jump into our good content. We're actually going to listen to some trances today, which is cool. So I want to share some stories about 2 hauntings that I went to. So while listening to Blog Talk Radio and the New Spirit Radio Show, there was a conversation in one of the trances about the Moss Beach Distillery, which is up between San Francisco and Santa Cruz over in California.
Yeah.
So they were talking about how there were like 3 people who are ghosts, because ghosts are people who don't realize that they're dead or they're afraid of passing on. And so what they said is that if you know of a ghost, it's someone who needs to pass on, they don't realize they're dead, and you want to make an appointment, you tell your spirit guide, say, all right, I'm going to go up there like tomorrow or like Friday, whatever day it is. I'm going to say, I'm going to be there at 3 p.m. I will do my best to push, and you need to get all this person's loved ones and their cats and their dogs and just everybody to be there to help call them forward. So Francine said, you push, they pull. So I made the appointment. I said, all right, I'm going up to the Moss Beach Distillery. Never been there. Don't know what to expect. So I went up there, and it had this very misty feeling, like timeless. Like I didn't know what time it was. It was a very strange experience. I don't know if anyone else who's been to a haunting has had this experience, but I've had it happen twice now. The other one is on the next anecdote I'm going to share about the Queen Mary in Los Angeles. But it's very, very timeless. And I did my part. I said, look, if anyone's listening, please listen. Just humor me for a few minutes. No one ever talks about in church like what happens to realize that you die, but everyone's got to die eventually, and it's okay. Like, you're sitting there listening, you're okay. So just humor me. Just ask for the light. Just say, God, if I'm dead, just give me the light. And I swear to God, the mistiness just stopped, and I had this most incredible feeling of just like, it just gave me chills all over. It was this most beautiful feeling, and it almost like I could visually see light. It was amazing. Just all of it pushed aside. I was like, oh my God, this person, whoever this is, they actually did ask for the tunnel. And about 10, 15 seconds passed, and then all of a sudden, I felt this like zipper effects, like zip, and it was gone. It was gone. It was amazing. I was like, oh my God, it works. And so I went with my buddy, Chris Rodriguez, who is a fantastic individual. I know that you watch sometimes. I know you're there. So we went to the Queen Mary in Los Angeles. It was an extraordinarily haunted place. And again, it's just like mist. Just this misty,
Chris used to work
place.
there.
Yeah, Chris used to work there, so Chris gave me an amazing tour. It was so cool, but we went around like the Gnostics that we are, and like I even like dressed kind of conservatively. I was like, how would a person from the 1900s dress? So I'm like,
Oh.
because ghosts are agitated, they don't know what time it is, they don't know what year it is, they're just agitated, they don't know what year it is. So I was like, how does a person from the 1900s? So I did my best to dress conservatively. We went there, saw like orbs, saw the ghost orbs, man. Like it was amazing. We did visit like multiple cabins where it was this very intense feeling of timelessness. Like, oh my gosh, it was just entrenched. And so Chris said, like, yeah, these particular places are very, very haunted. This person like passed away at this cabin, and it was very, very interesting, like just getting your own psychic impressions. Like, this person wants absolutely nothing to do with anybody. I'm like, okay, great. But we went up to the captain's, like a lieutenant, like officer's cabin area. We felt that like extra misty feeling. And so it just, said the exact same thing. Like, hey, if anyone is here listening, like, please just humor me for just a couple minutes. No one ever talks about how, they're like, I am a Christian. I'm not trying to say anything crazy, but please, if you, like, no one ever talks about in church to say, like, what happens when you die? How do you realize that you're dead? And just humor me for a second and ask for the light. Just say a quick prayer to God, because you as a Christian, that's what we do. We pray to God. So just say a prayer to God. Say, God, if I'm dead, show me the tunnel, show me the light. And the exact same thing happened. And Chris felt it too. My friend Chris Rodriguez. It was this amazing feeling. All the mistiness stopped, and just like this, just chills, just this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. You can almost see like the white and the gold part of her eyes. It's just amazing. And then 10, 15 seconds passed. It almost felt like there was a conversation happening. And then zip, the same zipper feeling. It was amazing.
Wow, okay.
And the person was gone. I was like, that's amazing. That's so cool. So again, if you know of a ghost, don't be scared. Go into the person, just make an appointment with your spirit guide. And when you are ready, just go to the place at the time and date that you set. And that's all you have to do is say, like, hey, humor me for a couple minutes, please. And, you're a Christian, everybody's, believes in God. Even if you don't, just say a prayer. So, yeah, it's a good message for Halloween. Happy Halloween. Okay, I'm done. Tried to keep it short, and I didn't succeed.
I know. There's so much fun stuff to
I know.
share, and I'm trying to do two things at once, and it's not working very well.
All right, well, say a prayer and then hop into trances.
Yeah. How did I get here? Oh, okay, here we go. Sorry. I was trying to find the folder where all the trance stuff is, because you know what? I didn't get my little soundbite thing done that tells us we're at the end. So I think what I'll do is I'll play the song Mother God afterwards.
All right.
And we'll explain this in a minute. This is just part of how this platform happens to work. But I'm going to grab the first one, and there's that one. At least that one, let's see. Yeah, that'll probably sound better. We'll just have to see what happens here. Where to go? There's the cue. Okay, cool. That'll be fine. So I should be set up for the first trance. Now, granted, let's see. Sorry, what were you saying? We had a.
Oh, do we do? Usually we have our prayer first, but I know that we've been chatting about Halloween for a bit.
And now I'm lost my. Okay. Hope you guys know where you are, because I'm a little lost with I'm trying to find my directions here. Let's see.
Yeah, take your time.
Oh,
No stress.
I don't do I talk about special prayers, and I asked for, okay, so that was our how do we use Novus? And so, yeah, we've taken up a lot of fun time with that. Special prayer. So let's take a moment. We'll have a moment of silence for everyone. By the way, I thought it fun. I read the notes on Blog Talk Radio. our chatters jumped off. They're now either on Facebook or YouTube, so they're probably chatting with us now that we're not reading. I'm not reading because I've got too many other screens on. But Kat can check it out. But anyway, so special prayers. What do you feel is needed? Visualize it. You can go to the website, novus.org, and post your special prayer on the prayer chain. Plus the fact that we're all going to stop here for a moment and take a moment of silence. My chair has moved. I'm sorry. I'm just fidgety because I'm looking at too many things here. Sorry. Let's take a moment of silence for special prayers. You have a special need. Take a moment, visualize what that is. Be specific about what you're looking for help with. And we're going to take a moment of silence and put out energy for everyone in need. And it doesn't matter when you watch this, where you're watching this, whether you're putting out the energy or asking for help. Just put it out there because, time is what? There is no time on the other side. And that energy goes out and it's going to get built upon. And that's what we're putting energy out here. So let's take a moment of silence and we'll put that energy out and ask for special for anyone in need. Amen.
Amen.
And again, if you see a need, fill it. Be the prayer. If that's, you're drawn to or shown. Let's see. After meditation, listen to the prayer by Sylvia. We're still doing that. And what's next? If you don't hear us, find us on YouTube and Facebook, Society of Novus Spiritus. Oh, I see. I'm like reading notes that I don't remember. Yeah, find us on YouTube and Facebook. Yes, we are posting this on Blog Talk Radio at this moment as well. Or you can now call 888-534-2696 to listen live on a phone. During, and that's at 6 p.m. We'll do our best to get started at 6 p.m. Sorry, visual distractions here. I'm like, I need horse blinders to keep me focused here. But again, the phone number, if you want to, while we are on live, you can call in 888-534-2696. And please, we encourage, keep muted. Otherwise, I'll mute you. So other everybody can hear properly, hear well, and hear clearly. Let's see. Trans segments, that's what's next. So let's scroll over here. We can hopefully not lose that in the near future here. So trans segments, there we go. Yes, we have heard this one a couple times because we've been testing and having fun, enjoying sharing and getting people introduced and acclimated. But this week we're doing our steps through the show and troubleshooting as we go. And so this segment is Francine. And I'm going to reread these descriptions and we'll go through it again. But then we've got two new ones after this. So let's see. Francine talks about you can create miracles. The combo of people taking the combo of taking exit points. Okay. We'll learn what that one's about. I understand exit points. The positive programming are what phases out an illness.
Okay.
Let's see. The combo of people taking exit points and positive programming are what phases out illnesses. Okay, I missed the comma versus the semicolon. That's what my problem is. Okay, next. In a regular illness, a person who is well tends to be in the mindset that they must be well. Don't rest to the point you become a slug and welcome illness. Helping others makes endorphins, which helps protect against illness. Acupuncture for grief includes pancreas. Acupuncture for grief includes pancreas. Okay. Oh, pancreas. I need to read my punctuations. Jeez. Acupuncture for grief includes pancreas, thyroid, and pituitary glands. Okay, I got through it. Where are we? Okay, here's a button, and if you hear Mother God playing, that's because that was the end. So just a brief description to introduce how this functions is we have an audio player on here, but it auto repeats, unfortunately. And so if we're not paying close attention, see on Blog Talk Radio, it used to stop and that was dead air. Oh, we know when it stops. And we had a timer. We don't have the timer and we can't tell when it stops and it auto restarts. So we could play the trance 3 times and we'd be like, why is it 30 minutes? Well, that's because. So what we're going to do is play. We have another audio that will play right after that. And that tells us, oh, the trance finished. So at the moment, it's the end of the show song called Mother God. And that's going to trigger us. Hey, transcended. Let's do something else. So anyway, that's how this is going to work. I'm going to find another fun little noisemaker that's going to go dee or something. I just couldn't get it put up there tonight. So anyway, that's our how things function here.
All right. All right.
Also, I've read the introduction and make sure I've selected the right item. Okay, I have selected the right item. We should hear a trance. Let's go.
And in doing that, you can create miracles. That's why you see, because of the books that are written and the positive energy that's going out, the spiritual energy is going out, the medical world has been flabbergasted so much by the remission of certain illnesses now. And the whole reason that illnesses come, phase out, it's the same as, even though there'll be cures, you're going to see a general phasing out of AIDS. The reason for that is a germ germinates for as long as, it's sort of like an army, and takes as many victims as it wishes to take and then recedes. Now, you've got to know this is an absolute truth because you've seen plagues or you can read about them come and go. What made them go? The Spanish flu stayed, killed millions, and overnight, within, well, actually 3 days, it left the eastern seaboard, never to come back again. It left. There were no new cases. Instantly. What causes that? I'm convinced it's positive ramming. And sometimes people have to get to such a low level that they become positive. Now, let me tell you what happens. You take so much pain, you take so much frustration, and all of a sudden, you're so flattened out, you give it to God. And that's when the Spirit is able to move. But it's a shame that you have to get to that point, because you see, in that space, that quantum leap there also is the chance of you taking your life. And I don't mean holding a gun to your head, but just taking that exit point that is probably not needed when you could stay around, beat the thing that you're dealing with, and go on farther and become stronger. Yes.
This is why it's so important, Francine, what Sylvia says many times to us. Help a person, but don't follow them down the tube.
That's right. That's right. Because some people will stay with one person that is totally unhelpable.
And think they're doing a great job.
No. And before you know it, they will outlive you. They will out you. They are feeding off of you. And you notice so many people, there will be so many times, very rarely, notice this, like Sylvia's often said, and it seems funny, but most of the things she says might have humor, but they have a zing to it. But usually 2 people in a family do not go deaf. 2 people in a family do not go blind. 2 people in a family usually do not get sick at once, unless they're in their 90s. Usually you will always see 1 sick, 1 well. Now, that's not to slap the face of the person that's sick, but notice how the well person has almost got it in their mind they must stay well for the person who's ill. And the person who's ill settles down in leaning on the person who is well. You will handle it for me. You will take care of it for me. I can have the comfort of being sick.
Sylvia's dad doing that.
Yes, her parents are doing that. One got sicker and the other one got well.
Would you comment on the phenomena? In other words, how is it that where you have a medical practitioner that is literally swimming in disease and plague, helping others, of course,
And they don't get sick.
and they don't get sick? Would you comment on how that is accomplished?
They're busy helping other people and their immune system, and they're constantly saying to themselves, like the two people that are together, I can't get sick. I can't afford to get sick. These people need me. You see, the tragedy is, society has always said, and I have to knock the medical profession for this. They have great, elaborate ways of how you're supposed to take long rest periods. Well, then you must do as Sylvia does. She said to her doctor, he wanted her to take a long rest for a month. She said, I will if you write me a check for $40,000. He quickly changed his tune. But they don't. And why should they make you feel if you don't get enough rest, you will fall over? No, you get too much rest, and I guarantee you're going to be in worse shape because the body is not a resting vehicle. If that were the case, God would have not made you with legs. I must get, and I know that Sylvia's death, I must get 12 hours sleep. I must take a nap. I must always put my feet up. I need my rest. I need my quiet. I need my space. You need some of that, but you don't need a lot of it because the mind starts reacting to this. You have a mouth to speak. You have ears to hear. You have eyes to see. And you are an absolute activated unit. You say, but what if I work real hard my whole life and die? So you did. It's better than going to the other side and said, I lived my whole life as a slug. Yes.
Okay, so clearly the idea of positive reinforcement is an effective immunology.
Absolutely.
Now, take, say, the time frame where the Spanish flu took 20-some million lives. Clearly, some didn't get it.
No.
Unlikely they were, doctors, etc. But what were the circumstances by which they survived in the midst of all this illness?
They had families to take care of.
Oh, you think it was the
One
same
was
idea?
well in the family and they had to stay on their feet. Notice how many people will stay well and then after everybody is well, they'll get sick. Now that's bad because then they've allowed themselves and they'll say things now I can get sick or I can rest or I can fall apart.
Okay. But you implied also there's an element of exit point choice within those scenarios.
But if you see a person who's always activated and moving towards a goal, whether it's to make other people well or to be on their feet, has an endorphin. And endorphin is a tremendous immune in itself is an immune anesthetic.
Okay. So
It's a coating. We see that endorphins coat. Now, I'll tell you something. You in extensive exercise, ever notice how you get to a point of pain and then you go beyond that and you go forever?
Right.
The endorphins kick in, and that's the coating of the cells.
I think they're called beta blockers. I mean, they literally block the transmission.
Well,
of pain.
it's also your endorphins are put out by
That's
your
what they are. They like, you're calling them a coating, and that's correct. They coat the
Yes.
nerve ending to where
Well, we
nothing
call them
transmits.
sheaths, but that's all right.
Same idea, prophylactic.
It is like a prophylactic. Yes, it keeps away illness and disease. It's like putting little tiny prophylactics on your cells.
So I would also suggest then that it's a conscious choice. No exit now. Even though it's a potential, you just bypass it and say, I don't take it. I
That's
choose not to take it.
That's right. And let's say that there's women in the group or that have pain. What I would do is encapsulate that pain in a baggie of some kind. And I shoot it full of so many darts. I would blow it up. I would take pain away from yourself and I would put it in a sealed container and dynamite it. Yes.
Nuclear waste disposal.
Oh, yes. I dissipate it in the atmosphere. I turn it to dust.
Shoot it to the sun.
Somebody else had their hand up. Yes.
Well, when you're talking about acupuncture, I was just reading today about how, like the gallbladder meridian and those other meridians that run up and down your body, they already figured out several hundred years ago how the emotion is connected with those meridians and how what do? They kind of, with the acupuncture,
They telegraph.
they telegraph and then they interrupt that transmission with the points of the needles.
Absolutely. That's what I was saying. They really know how to send out different signals.
So if you're in grief, is there a meridian that grief travels on up and down your body that you can get rid of?
Yeah, if you notice grief, of course, I would have somebody use the pituitary gland because that's the one that regulates the serotonin liquid. And we see in grief that the emotional side is just flooding.
Right.
The intellectual side is just in a flood. And strangely enough, the same thing happens in flight and fright. It's almost the exact same flooding, which of course then explains anxiety attacks. But pituitary gland and thyroid, and especially the pancreatic area, should be addressed.
That was our cue. All right.
All right.
That
Excellent.
works pretty good.
Excellent.
We just got to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
I was reminded with they were talking about, curing and changing
Switch.
and adjusting. What?
Switch our video
Oh,
over.
thanks. Oh my gosh. That would help.
There we go.
All right. I was looking at chat and dancing, and anyway, that's another. So I was reminded of what was it? Curing illnesses and getting through things. And there was a story shared at one point of this wife or the husband. The husband was diagnosed with cancer, and similarly about don't sit down. The wife said, "Oh my God, let's go." She took him home and she didn't let him sit down. He had a to-do list, a honey-do list. She says, he's got to get this stuff done before he dies. I got to have all this stuff done. So what did she do? She made him get all this stuff done. Guess what? He activated and kept going and, prolonged his health. It improved. And for me, that reminds me about, I believe Francine and Rahim have talked about how when you've got either prognosis, diagnosis, wherever you are, if you're not too far along in the cancer, change your environment, change what you're doing, change your lifestyle, do things completely different to help adjust. And I think of that as part of, it's something in your lifestyle is causing the cancer, unless it was something from a past life, but it's something about in your lifestyle that you haven't gotten rid of, the emotional trauma, dilemma, or something. And so changing your lifestyle, doing something completely different, forces your mind, you got to relearn, redo things different. And, maybe that illness is going to, get released somehow. So that's, an option too.
I know that some people have had questions about how cancer and animals works. I remember them making a comment saying that out in the wild, animals don't get cancer. Like they don't see that, but it's not until animals become domesticated and get our strange diets that it makes them susceptible to a lot more illnesses, including cancer. So it's just another factor to take, just to be aware of. Our full lifestyle is important. Our full lifestyle is important, and especially for mental programming, it's very, very important to do some auditing and say exactly what you just said. What are some things that I can let go of so I can mentally be healthier, so I can physically be healthier, and spiritually be healthier?
Yeah. fun. Let's see. Sorry. This is so much newness to me that it's almost like, okay, this is more than, what do we do next?
What do we do next?
Well, we are going to do, well, our next trans
Another?
segment.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second one, and I haven't mechanically set up for it, but reading here, this next one is about acupuncture. Tuberculosis transmits through droplets, not planes. Ah, okay. This is right along the lines of COVID-19. Man-made dust is dangerous. Tinsel is deadly. Clarifying ancient use of hashish, peyote, valerian root, and nightshade. Overuse of antibiotics. Now, let's see if I can find the right location for everything here. I got to practice this step a few times. Okay, hey, I like how that worked. Here we go. Practice makes better. And take notes. Yeah, here we go.
Size of the palms, for some reason, really regulate. So you'll see that a lot of great acupuncturists, when they're dealing with the glands, will not only hit the pituitary in the forehead, but they'll hit the upper sinuses, left and right side. Then they'll come right down into the throat chakra, and then they'll hit the left and right outside palms of the hands.
And if you wanted to get would it be helpful also to tell the person that's in grief to sort of go to the hypothalamus and have them release more endorphins?
Exactly.
On just a regular sort of a feeding, sort of like a free feed. Like at this.
And I think that you can do an awful lot of acupressure. I think Rahim did an awful lot of that, which he's going to do some more when he comes in next week. He just had some more research is to really get rid of some of these, let's call them symbiotic illnesses. And it's just like very much, I was listening a little bit in board meeting in which they were saying that now people are getting tuberculosis from riding in planes because of the recycled air. This is ridiculous. Now everybody will come down with the form of it because they've been programmed. This is absolutely ridiculous. For one thing, the spore of tuberculosis lasts about possibly 2.5 seconds, and it has to be contained with moisture. So it's just absolutely. Now I think what's happened is some people have already gotten tuberculosis and they're blaming it on the plane flight. Not true.
It's passed by contact.
Oh, and it has to be almost saliva, spitting.
Yeah. Those who came down were sitting right next to the infected one. I mean, it was right here. It wasn't through the air.
No.
Because it wasn't all over the plane.
No.
It's clustered around that one person that was non-sick.
Yes.
And see, what about dust? Dust is everywhere. You can't get rid of it. Is that, we're breathing that, it's always there.
You've always breathed it.
So we're just filtering out. Is dust a germ, or is it, no? It's just matter.
Going back, not to be facetious, to the tribes of Indian tribes, primitive early people tribes, such as even the Maasais, Simburus, no one breathes more dirt than they do because of the outside teepees, dirt, mud huts. They have no incidence of lung cancer.
Because it's clean, huh? That's why. Huh?
You get man-made dust now, and you've got another thing. I don't think you have anything more dangerous, honestly, than some of your heating units.
Because you're getting particles.
Your heating units are, yes.
Some
Now,
of those were insulated.
you go outside, well, but some of the older ones that we see
Asbestos,
are
yeah.
asbestos, or and talk about your lead paint.
Fiberglass.
And the stuff you used to put on trees called angel something or other that you used to put on Christmas trees.
Angel hair.
Yeah.
Oh, deadly.
Yeah.
Deadly. Deadly.
Fiberglass.
Now, interesting enough, American Indians as well as Tibetan monks smoke pure tobacco, never get cancer. It's the fiberglass used in the filters. Not that I'm for any of that, but I'm telling you where this pollution is coming from.
Well, they use tobacco as a sacred.
Absolutely, as a sacred ceremony, but it was pure. The same thing as, like I've told you before, valerian root is a natural narcotic and totally harmless. Put it into Valium, synthesize it to Valium, it becomes another substance. It's what man does with the purifying of things.
You know, Francine, when my grandfather and father would work with peyote, they always would tell me that they had to have pure thoughts before they could go in
Oh, yes.
and do it. So it was a religious ceremony.
Absolutely.
That was pure.
I did it. So did Raheem. Yes. Everybody would go, there isn't any culture that didn't either go hashish or peyote. And sometimes we used a mixture of valerian root and nightshade, which used in any quantities of this day and age could kill you.
Yeah, it's definitely.
It's just like the Queen Mother uses arsenic, as I told you, for illnesses. Now, who recommends that? But she knew how to use it. She knows how to use it. There's nothing more deadly than some of your antibiotics. One of your most deadly antibiotics is penicillin. Not that I don't think that people should use it when they have to, but only very rarely. Because we're finding out now that your antibiotics are not working, as you can testify because you work in it. They're not working. It's not even killing the different bacilluses now that are contained in some of the pneumonias people are getting.
Francine, you were talking about the rainforest having all the cures.
All the cures
why
in the
don't
world.
they go and use that? Why
Because they
do
want to use it for toilet paper.
For
No,
money, for money.
absolutely. And that's what the American Indian was trying to preserve and save, because you see, the American Indian knew how to use the same as they will eventually get to Kenya and start cutting down those trees. And the witch doctors know exactly how to cure people with what poultices. Do you know that even the English expatriates over in Kenya, when Robbie got so sick in Mombasa, when she was literally gnarled up in a ball, they said, "What doctor do you want?" She said, "A witch doctor." The witch doctor came, took one look at her, and gave her potassium, and she uncurled.
Because you got a pure direct.
If she had a Western doctor, I guess in that case, an African doctor, Western medicine, he'd had her under MRIs and everything else.
Yeah.
He would have called it a seizure. She was having a potassium seizure. Because it was so moist, she was so dehydrated, she curled right up into a ball. And of course, in potassium seizures, your lungs can collapse. That's what happens with anorexia. That's what eventually happens. She wasn't anorexic, but the dehydration, the potassium flows out of the body and the heart won't work. That's how Kieran Carpenter died.
How many buttons do I got to push here? Oh, one more button. There we go.
Video. There we go. Good.
I'm like, oh,
Good.
I hear the music, jingle, jingle. And I got to turn my mic on, stop the music, and change the video. Oh, so many new tasks. Going back on, what was it? Lead and asbestos. They were talking about, our own personal man-made pollutants. When selling or buying a home, one of the disclosures is talking about lead. There's one individual that says, we have to warn you about the potential for lead. And I think it's for homes that are older than like 1978, if I remember the number right. Um, um, it was still in the paint. And so you sand the walls, that dust comes out and gets out, and lead gets out. And I was watching one of my other fun shows is darn it, I don't remember the name now. Gentleman in Canada that goes in after the buyers have bought the home and found out the inspector didn't do a very good job. And he goes in and fixes everything, almost tears apart the house, which makes for a fun show, and puts it all back together again. And a lot of times they'll find asbestos, and they talk about how to deal with that too. So anyway, it's yeah, which is odd, but unfortunately, we find we do stuff, and then unfortunately, sometimes we find out that it's not good for us later. And one of the other ones, Francine was talking about how we manipulate the natural products, the natural medicines, and synthesize it. Well, guess what we're doing now with the really harsh stuff? We're making it worse. What's the fun the horse tranquilizer that we find in crystal meth? I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but that's now being synthesized to, but also pulled out of other things too. Anyway, and that's what people are dying from now. They're not. They don't know that the street drug that they're taking is also laced with something that's really inexpensive and really harsh now. And listen in the news.
That's scary. Miss Gibson says Mike Holmes. Is that the person?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Homes on homes.
All right.
Homes on homes. Yes, thank you.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I wanted to add some other comments about the psychoactive drugs that they were talking about, like peyote and hashish. So Rahim has said in the past, be very, very careful about using drugs, including peyote and hashish, because what he said is that because we did not have these connections to spirituality and shamans to help lead us in responsible ways and make sure that, like, just all the things that go into it, because I've never had an experience with all that before. But Rahim said, be very, very careful, because it leaves your brain wide open. And it can lead your brain wide open to
negativity.
darkness.
There you go.
Negativity,
Yeah.
darkness. In my last job, I did work with clients who were meth users and trying to get better. And sometimes when someone would have a relapse, it was like listening to 15 dark entities all at once coming out of a very, very nice individual. And it was
Wow.
very, very frightening, the types of things that that people would say while they were on meth, because it was just like their brain is just wide open, just absolutely wide open. It was very, very scary. But these otherwise like very, very sweet people were struggling to get better, because we know that addiction is, what we've been told from Francine and Rahim is that addiction is something that we are coached on by the council. The council will tell people, hey, you might have an addiction problem just because of the way you've set things up. And we're prone to argue with the council, saying, like, no, I got this.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm gonna do me. I'll be fine. And then people can run into a whole lot of trouble. So it's not casting judgment on anyone who is struggling with addiction and drug use. But it's just something to keep in mind. Like, experimentation, not such a great idea. And it is like Francine was just saying here, that the tweaks and the changes and the lack of spiritual connection, lack of spiritual understanding and grounding to spiritual ceremonies has completely completely bastardize, the things that God gave us. She once said that Raheem, Francine, they sound the same. They said, "You want to know why marijuana exists?" And so, everyone's like, "Why?" He's like, "The pain relief. That was the reason why marijuana was made, according to Raheem." So
Ah,
yeah, so it's just some things to keep in mind, some additional information. Yeah, whew, my gosh, this is bringing up bad memories for me because it's really, really scary.
I just panicked for a moment. Normally
Oh,
we try and stick to like an hour's program, but we are going to go over because we're still learning and we're still having fun, and I trust everyone else here is enjoying this. And regardless of when, how you can come back. A couple of fun points people have brought up. Let's see, Blog Talk Radio. They're still okay. I had that timer should be fine. Um, um, Oh, so there's no comments in any of the groups, so we're not posting or reading. We're not able to read or post comments in the groups. However, uh, people that can share comments on the Facebook page, Society of Novus Spiritus Facebook page, and YouTube. So we are able to see that. Unfortunately, and I'll be debating whether I just keep streaming out to the New Spirit Radio Facebook page. Trying to remember all these pieces. So anyway, that's a note. And then what does it say? Cleaning. That was also supposed to be part of the part of from this segment. They're clearing the forest in South America, and a lot of it's for paper. And Francine has mentioned in the past it's about flushing paper down the toilet. It's our
yeah,
toilet paper.
that's where our rainforest is down the toilet. Just
Yeah, which is a sad note. Plus, they're also leveling off quite a bit of it for agriculture. For cheap crops the way I understand it, the way I hear it, it's also about industries and cheap crops, and so it's like people are in denial that that's a lot of our oxygen source.
yeah.
So that's a sad note.
Well, there are some alternative, better paper products that are being made, especially out of bamboo. So it's something to keep in mind. Save a dolphin, save a rainforest tree. Any
Yeah.
small thing that we can do, it absolutely counts. I'm always trying to save a dolphin, making one small change after another. So
And
anyhow,
then there's the bidet.
you know, those are very, very popular at the start of the pandemic for a reason. So, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
All
Well,
right.
and I see more and more homes with those in it.
Oh, interesting.
When we've got diverse cultures in our area here, and showing homes, I'm seeing more and more, not the actual bidet, but the top piece that creates a bidet instead of that's a ton of plumbing to add another. Matter of fact, when I lived in grade school, one of the grade schools I was in, I lived in Brussels, Belgium for like 2.5 years, and our house had bidets in it that we never used, but we had them. So it's an extra utility that goes in the bathroom somewhere. So that most American homes don't have the space for it already. But there's the add-on pieces for toilets. I see is more common.
Cool.
That was that note. So yeah, normally we exit at the hour, but hey, we're gonna finish up here because we've got stuff to go. That was hopefully
Get the
number
information
2.
out.
Yeah,
Yes.
getting the information out. So I guess we do the next segment, and we're just gonna keep going. So,
All right.
well, we have a third segment, and then we have I'll do a meditation, novena, and then a prayer by Sylvia, and then we finish. We conclude our whenever we conclude, because they don't want us to go on forever. Let's see. Oh, next segment. Okay, now I got to figure out where I put the notes. Okay, third segment. Southern California air is very dirty. Immune systems acclimate, or we'd all be dead from pollution. Lamb is very digestible. Say, I want to the light. Sorry, I can't even read now. I want the right amount of bacteria. Giants in the Bible were actually our height. Cells keep weight to protect against negativity. I know we've both reviewed this, but now it's like, what? But hey, this is why it's fun to come and listen to these. We still enjoy listening to these again and again.
Yes.
Okay, I got to do that. I got to do that. And okay, it's getting more of a routine. Once this is the only screen I got to watch, then it's going to be a little bit, a little more smooth. But I know this is helpful for people. So take your notes.
Yes.
The air here, though, is particularly dirty in this particular area, San Jose,
Not as dirty as your southern part.
Los Angeles.
Yes. Not as dirty, strangely enough, as, well, let's say on a range from 1 to 10, it's a 4. It's not bad. Your best, of course, is Alaska, Canadian. Although you're not going to find very many places anymore. Colorado still has fairly pure air. The desert has pure air, but you're not going to find any more. But the marvelous thing about it is the immune system will acclimate according to what you've used up in your lifetime as far as absorbing pesticides and chemicals and waste that you've been subjected to. You should be dead by now. All of you.
Yeah, we've all been changing so much that
But you
we're
see,
not
that
even
shows
aware.
you the smarts of the cells to
Yeah.
survive at all costs. Oh, yes. Now, what's happened? Look at you. Like I said last time, all of you have grown larger. Your eyes have gotten bigger. Your body structure. Before people, like I said, in Middle Ages, look at the little men's armor. There's no man in this room that could get into the armor that used to be. There is no woman that could sleep in the beds that used to be. Well, there may be one in here. But other than that, but a big heart in a little body and a big soul. But I mean, the structure of the individual has massively. If people in the Middle Ages were to see you people coming, they think you were giants. They think you were coming from another planet. Because the average woman was 4'10", and the average man was 5 feet, possibly, if he was really tall, 5'1". Look at how your body structure has grown to acclimate. And that's certainly not to demean people who are shorter, but I'm just saying the average person now has gotten at least 4 or 5 inches on that, men and women both, sideways as well as.
In the Bible, there's a reference to a race of giants. Were they truly, let's call them extraterrestrial, or just people on this planet with good nutrition?
No, those were extraterrestrial.
They were truly giants.
The Goliath and where the giants wandered the plains were, yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I'm sure they weren't any bigger than some of you. Now, also, too, the gravity content of your planet, magnetic, is pulled you to the point that it's very difficult for your cells to be evicted. It's very hard. People used to know, and even young people are seeing that when they were younger, they could die easier. It's becoming increasingly more difficult because the cells are holding on to each other because they're trying to protect themselves from the negativity. Now, this is no reason to get as big as a house, but you're going to have to really be more rigid with it. And eviction notices, exercise. Yes. Yes.
I wanted to ask if lamb is as bad as beef as far as red meat.
Oh no. Lamb is very good. It's very easily absorbed into the system. It's very digestible.
Thank you.
Yes.
Last week you told me to see the doctor, and I went 2 days
later, and the doctor say my urine is very clear, no white cells. So I want to know if some outside coming to heal me, or because I drink a lot of cranberry juice.
You drink a lot of cranberry juice. Absolutely. That's what I said. Instantaneous remission.
Thank you.
You gave the bladder and kidneys notice.
Oh, okay.
Go away.
Yes.
You see, the one thing you ought to always address very well is when you get an infection. Say, I want the right amount of E. coli and no more. See, E. coli can turn on you. The same as your blood can turn on you. You know that, don't you? Mm-hmm. That's what's happening in these eating diseases. The blood is becoming contaminated and turning inward on the person.
And now the doctor is telling me that I have more yeast than bacteria. So I guess I work on it, and the bacteria has.
He said you have more yeast than bacteria?
Well, he said in human body we should have a balance of yeast and bacteria.
Oh, that's true. That's
Right.
true. We should also have a balance of alkali and acid. But every human being needs yeast.
Well, he said I have just a little bit more.
Now, how did he come upon this diagnosis? Did he take a sample?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I thought he was just looking at you. I would have been very upset with that. He's got it with my throat.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Francine, a friend of mine has just started a health program, a diet and workout. Is she on the right track, or what can she do to?
If she keeps herself on high protein, because when you're working out, you've got to eat more protein. You've got to. And not all that rabbit food that she's been eating, because that's not going to help her. She's eating like a rabbit.
Any type of vitamins she should be taking?
A multivitamin always. I would absolutely tell all of you without any reservations at all that you've got to take amino acids. You all must do that. It's almost mandatory for your cell structure now, because you can't eat enough meat or fish. And I think that's what John was saying. That's to combat the pollution. If you know that you got pollution, then for God's sake, jerk up your immune system. And the way you can do that is not only talking to it, but you also can do marvels with increasing your cell structure.
I need to address the group again. This hopefully is for topical
No, forget it. It's
discussion,
all
not
right.
personal.
That's all right. That's all
So
right.
please
That's
keep
all right.
away from personal issues.
That's okay. She was making a point. I understand that. Yes.
You were talking last time we met about the condition of dyslexia, and then you mentioned again today about how we're adapting physically to our environment. Could you tell us why that society, that culture, that continent acquired that manner of reading and...
You mean Atlantis?
Right.
Because they read from left to right.
Why did they acquire that?
Because most all ancient cultures did that. The Asians still do.
Yeah.
It was easier.
An Egyptian can read either which way too.
I mean, it was just the way they did it.
There we go.
All right.
We're getting better at this. Oh my gosh. You got any tidbits?
You know, I'm pretty good. We've had a great conversation today.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't have any either. I'm like maxed out on like absorption and trying to.
I've got a Halloween tidbit that's really, really short.
Okay.
Okay. Francine said that Gnostics, during their Halloween ceremonies way, way back in ancient times, would dress up as a past life and kind of celebrate the progression of your soul. And so they dress up as someone from a past life that you were. So if you were a Viking, then maybe you would try to dress up like a Viking or your idea of it, or someone from Egypt. And it was just as a way to acknowledge your own progression of the soul, as well as to let go of any past life carryovers that you had. So it was a very, very, very different take without all this crazy commercialization, which is still really fun for kids, but It was its own ceremony, not meant for cultural appropriation. It was a spiritual ceremony. So that was Gnostic
Fun.
Halloween.
Yeah. I like that. That idea of the. I had heard that somewhere, something like that, and um, thought that was fun. And that's what I watch when I see people do their dress up. It's like something that resonates with them, which is fun. I when I've helped people with hypnosis, one of the and in like a past life regression, and if it's whether it's in just meditation form also, something along those lines is you you get people to in a meditative state, you get them to relax, you picture them in a comfortable like place. Usually it's like a dark place. I recall it being like on a stage with curtains around you, so you all you see are just a wall of curtain around you. On the wall is a bag. It's a velvet bag, and there's a costume in it. Take it out and try it on. And it's that technique that helps the people's minds pull out a past life.
Interesting. Very interesting. I'm gonna have to remember that.
So that's a fun
That's cool.
technique to help people introduce them to past lives and help them with that. So that's a fun. A note. There's several listeners on Blog Talk Radio. They've called in to our number. I want to let them know that we have a new phone number. So jot this down. I'll say it a couple times. Find something to write it down on your forehead, on your hand, or something. Here's the new phone number. When we are on live, there will be a new phone number. It is 888-534-2696. And while you're running to grab something to write with, I'll say it again.
Say it again.
While we are live, 6 p.m. on Wednesday evenings or afternoon or wherever, however you're listening, we have a new phone number. It is 888-534-2696. You can call that in and you'll be able to listen to all of this. Listen to our, the live show. Not the recordings, just like Blog Talk Radio. It's not for recorded, it's just the live. So if you're driving on the freeway and you can't stream or it's difficult to stream, yes, get on your phone and call and you can listen in while you're driving. Or if you're in some place that's got limited internet access.
Again, that number is 888-534-2696.
And eventually you'll be able to find it on the website. We are struggling to keep up with our to-do list, and that's one of the items on our to-do list. So right now it's only on YouTube and Facebook in the description at this time, and verbally. I guess I could put it on the ticker tape thing eventually too. That's another fun. I hadn't thought about that. How does that go? Wait a minute. No, 3 finger. 888. Never mind. I'm not going to do that. So yeah. Eventually we are going to evolve away from Blog Talk Radio, but we are going to stream live for the next few weeks. So as people come on that know about us, we know they come on at different times and different dates. But we'll do this for a few weeks so people get accustomed that we are on Facebook Live and YouTube Live at this moment. And that number again, we should be doing a what do you call it, a fundraiser. There you go. The phone number you can call to listen in, 888-534-2696. So we look forward to seeing people there. And please mute yourself. I mean, you start out muted, but keep muted so that other listeners get to hear a good show. Let's see. That was the third one, wasn't it? Okay.
All right.
Where's my instructions? My oh, okay. Meditation. So every week we got a meditation. Most of you know the procedure, but for those, this is a new thing for you. we encourage people to sit in a chair with their feet, sit in a comfortable location with your feet flat on the floor with your palms upward on your lap to receive grace. And so I'm still juggling, and while you're doing that, and for those of you that need to pay attention to what you're doing, don't pay attention to us, but by all means come back to the wonderful, now it's going to be, it used to be under a label called On Demand, but, if you got to pay attention to what you're doing, don't pay attention to us right now, but by all means come back and listen, and then you can zip through and get to these. We'll listen to the show and then do the meditation. But for those of you that have now found yourself a comfortable place to sit, I will prep a meditation here. And what did I do with it? Is this? Yep. We're going to do this meditation and this here, and we'll see how this. So here we go. Enjoy this. Oh, hey, I got to hit play. Sorry. Here we go.
Find a comfortable position, sitting in a chair with your feet flat on the floor and your palms upward on your lap. Now, take 3 deep breaths to start relaxing the mind and the body. Now, when you are ready, close your eyes.
The well-traveled road. Ask for the power of Mother God and Father God, the Holy Spirit, and your Christ consciousness to envelop you. And I want you to feel yourself walking in a field that is bright with flowers. The wind is blowing. Suddenly, as you are walking, you are aware that there are others walking with you. Some are running behind you, some to either side, some are skipping in front of you, and some are holding hands with each other and with you. You're all going along exhilarated, enjoying the warm and beautiful day, eager to see where you will finally end up. As the day progresses, the sun gets high, then begins to drop. You notice that there are not many chuckles, laughs, or footfalls around you. You look around. Is it your imagination, or are there fewer people with you? Well, you could have been mistaken. The sun sinks deeper, and the beauty seems to disappear. Yet you are determined to walk on. It gets darker, and now you are utterly alone. It is scary. But you know that God and your guide are there, although not visible. You walk alone, with no one to really pour your heart out to, or to walk with you. Then in a half-light, almost like a hologram, others begin to walk with you, shadowy at first, but shoulder to shoulder you are walking together. Maybe these are not just your first choices for companions. Maybe they're strangers in each other and into you. And there is something about the eyes, the handshakes, the hugs, that speaks to you of sisterhood, of brotherhood. As a group, you've traveled this road for thousands of years and will do it again. You feel calm, knowing that there is a spiritual homecoming. All pain washes away. All hurtful things that have been thoughtlessly spoken. Forgive these people and let it go. Walk on and feel the golden light of Christ and the God consciousness filtering all the way down to your toes. Keep the light all through the week and forevermore.
Now, on the count of 3, come all the way back to full alertness. 1, 2, 3.
That one was a giveaway to when to
Carrying
stop.
the light of the Christ consciousness.
Yeah. That one's like giving me tears of release and relaxation.
Beautiful, beautiful.
How do you recuperate from those? Like those are
Just breathing in the joy.
my phone says
Breathing
it's time
toward the
to
joy.
turn the alarm back on or turn the ringer back on.
I know. And I'm looking at the time.
Where are we? Oh, we've been an hour and a quarter. It's 7:25.
I know.
Marathon here. So,
I
all right.
know.
Well, they'll listen if they want to listen, and they won't
Okay.
if they won't. So we got meditation. We did meditation. So, if you have any questions about what we shared, feel free to post in chat or email us questions to cat@novus.org. Tom@novus.org is the other email. We appreciate the listeners, both live and on demand. Show your appreciation to New Spirit Radio by sharing, promoting, liking, subscribing, everything else that you could imagine or think of. Get us out there. Help us get out. We're out of the closet. But anyway, get us, promote us. Check out our website, novus.org, sylviabrown.com, chrisrightnow.com, Chris Dufresne, Sylvia's son. We're on Facebook, Society of Novus Spiritus, Sylvia Brown Group, New Spirit Radio Show, Novus Spiritus study groups. We got quite a bit of those on Facebook. So several groups. YouTube, yes, Chris has his YouTube. We have Society of Novus Spiritus. So check those out. Share, like, and promote. Buttons, pushing, and sharing, and so on. However, the best means possible. If you'd like to learn more about our philosophy, and plus you can also donate and get something in return, start a study group. You'll learn more about our philosophy. You'll get a monthly Sunday service CD and newsletter. Let's see. So check that out on our website. Let's see. Another way to donate to Society of Novus Spiritus and support what we're providing for you, and you're an Amazon shopper, sign up for Amazon Smile. You'll be asked what is that nonprofit that you want to donate to. Check out Society of Novus Spiritus. Let's see, church services. Watch Sunday services on Facebook and YouTube. Many of you have probably seen me posting actual services on the first Sunday of the month at 11 a.m. Yes, right now they're classics of Larry and Sylvia. In addition to that, Reverend Ellen Schloss is doing special Sunday Zoom services. So post your email in the website, and you'll be notified when and get an invitation to that when they're available. Now is the novena. This is a special part we've added during our transition as well. So I'm going to say a phrase and repeat it 3 times. You will say it right along with me. We call this the novena. The phrase is, I am God, I am part of God, I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, I'm going to say it 3 times, and then I'll tell you what to think about afterwards. This is a special prayer presented to us by it was either Sylvia or Francine. However, it's a special prayer. So, sorry, I've got so many things in front of me, and I'm doing my best not to be distracted here. So I'm going to say this, and while we're saying this, picture in your mind all of us are holding hands together, and we're making this huge circle that we're sharing energy, and we're putting out our requests to the universe and to Mother God. So here we go. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for yourself. Oh, sorry. Reminders are ringing here. Okay, next one. Same phrase. Ready? I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for others. Okay, and the last one. Ready? I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, picture our lights going out like a beacon for others seeking this spiritual knowledge, and that they find where we are. That's the novena. And show your appreciation to Francine and Rahim for researching all of this wonderful knowledge. How? Ask them for help. Listen to what we've been listening to. Pay attention to what we've been listening to. And of course, thanks Sylvia for coming to this insane asylum of the universe to start this movement and for showing us how to get some peace of mind and grace. Of course, Asna for helping us and protecting us. Father God for providing the most prestigious school for us to experience, learn, and satisfy our unique spark of curiosity. Oh, Bob Ingold for some of the helpful graphics and some of the editing. Sammy and Javon for the wonderful intro-outro music. And for the show, writing, setup, and hosting is MIT Catherine Taylor. Editing, technical direction, and hosting, I think that's me, Reverend Tom Bigley. Now I'd like to share a quick prayer from Sylvia, wherever I've hidden them. Here we go. Release of pain.
Prayer for release of pain. Dear Mother and Father God, hold me in your hands. Stroke away all the pain that resides in my body. Increase my intellect to override the ravages of this life. Send your angels to comfort me. I ask that the archetypes encase my pain and alleviate all suffering. I also ask for and expect not only a healing, but a miracle, dear Mother. That is, Queen of the Universe, attend to me now and give me peace of mind, body, and soul. I expect the peace to come now. I am of sound body, mind, and soul. Amen.
Thank you for that. Where am I supposed to be doing? Where are all my tools here? I've got so many. Anyway, sorry. I got screens in front of me here. Let's see. So I said that. I did the prayer, and it says, have an excellent week. We'll talk to you next week. And then I'm supposed to do one other thing here. It's called... here it is. Talk to you next week, and Kat's going to tell us...
We love you, and I hope you have a joyful week. Good night.
For so long we have ignored you, as if you were not there. All praise went to the Father. We were so unaware that through the years you've shed your tears for all the pain we bear. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You've planted every blade of grass, creator of the stars. And when I'm feeling down and out, you mend my broken heart. So now I sing this song of thanks because of who you are. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You're more than a friend to me. You give me